All things considered, I think humans are extremely fascinating. As a fellow human myself, I think together we are an unstoppable force when our motivations are just. I think there's nothing that we can't do in theory and within the laws of physics and thermodynamics and all the other sciences. I think that we have the answers right in front of us the whole time, most of the time. And I think we innately know what to do. As a fellow human who is aware of the bad just as much as the good, I do think our potential is endless. I think we are one of the most unique organisms that has ever graced this beautiful planet of ours. And I think we are beautiful people ourselves. And if there's one thing that I absolutely know about us is that we are flawed, heavily flawed, which makes the idea of perfection very interesting to me. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Perfection is, well, it's perfect. It's without defect, it's without blemish, it's without flaws. Often reserved for the most beautiful of things or people, the well executed, and the divine. Usually something to strive towards, it is the goodest of goods to achieve. Perfection is good, but to a flawed people who, by definition, can never be perfect, what is perfection actually to us?
Hello, it's Editor Nick coming to you live from the wilderness. I feel like I just want to talk about. I don't really like when I use slash everyone uses the fact or the point of that we are inherently flawed. I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. Maybe because it's very negative, but I feel like we should open the dialogue and the conversation to using different language when talking about things like this. Not to say that we're flawed, but just to acknowledge that we can be good and bad. Um, I don't think that something existing in both good and bad ways makes it flawed. I'm really using this language for the purpose of comparing it directly to perfection, which by definition means without flaws. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Um, that is a possibility. That is kind of what this channel is. But the purpose of this is to say, I want us to just think about and open our minds to maybe talking about ourselves in a different way, not describing ourselves as inherently flawed. I don't really know what I'm saying here, but I was editing and I kept saying we are inherently flawed. We're flawed. We're flawed. We're flawed. And I was just ah, like I get why I'm saying it in the context of this video, but I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be like that. Maybe we can use some different language. Maybe we can do whatever we want. Per uh my last video, maybe my last video, if this is going in order, everything is stories. Check it out here. Isn't the sky beautiful? Okay, I'm rambling. I'm gonna get back to the video, I think.
I believe perfection is a swindler, and it's been swindling us the whole time since its inception. Perfection is slimy. Perfection is a trickster. Perfection is an enabler. Perfection is the enemy. Who knows when on the timeline of human history the idea of perfection first hit one of our ancestors' brains, but I believe it had to be a crazy moment. I feel like there's no way it couldn't have been. Whether it was describing a deity or maybe the land, an inherently flawed being conceptualized the idea of flawlessness, something unobtainable and unreachable to us. And mentally, I wonder what has that done to us, especially now. Everyone has their version of perfection for their family, for their life, for their creative endeavors, for their career, etc. Particularly for creative ventures, it can be what you're trying to achieve. You want the thing that you make to be as perfect as possible. But we know it can never be. And as a creative, that can be a very stressful and anxiety inducing reality. There's always something that could have been shot better, could have been drawn better, could have been sang better, could have been written better, could have been mixed and mastered better. Everything could have been done better in theory. With the reality of social media and millions of perfections, little minions ready to point out every single flaw and defect and problem And you can see why people never put anything out, or just a general high level of stress and anxiety in general. But my question is, what would life look like if we just did? It wasn't about getting it perfect, it was just about doing it, tracking the results, and doing it again. Improvement and action being the goals, not getting it right. What if we leaned more on a real friend of ours? A friend that has gotten a really bad rap, but there is a good number of people who know their true character. Someone who has actually been there for you since you were you, since anyone who was anyone tried to do anything. Someone who I would say is your number one ally. Failure. If perfection is the slick talking, holier than thou friend who encourages you to keep trying, knowing you'll never reach them because you were never meant to in the first place, and all it's doing is stressing you out in reality, then failure is your sensei. Failure is your teacher. The teacher that sounds like they're being mean, but they really have your best interest at heart. They just have a tone issue. They're a real softy when you get to know them. And failure is the best teacher for us. They align way more with a flawed being than perfection ever could. We should be proud to fail. We should be proud to learn and excited to try. In a perfect world, we put something out into the world, we get feedback, we tweak it, and the process continues. No striving for the unobtainable. I think a world in which failure comes first is a world in which we share more, a world where we do more, a more accepting world, a kinder world, which, if true, makes sense. I mean, a world where we accept our flawed nature is the one where we would thrive the most, right? Now, obviously, none of what I'm saying is new. You've heard it once, you've heard it 1,000 times. But let's take this video as a sign to take some actionable steps. Let's go out and let's fail at something. I encourage you to fail. Let's all fail together, often and willingly. Let's fail at something new. Let's fail at the thing that you're currently doing. Let's start the thing that you think you want to do so you can fail at it. Hurry up and start failing. There's so many things I want to try. There's so many things I want to do. And I know that me being a low-key perfectionist, the idea of failing at something and not being good at it within a certain amount of time is really what prevents me from starting a lot of the things that I want to do. So these videos are just as much for me as they are for you. These are things that I'll never make a video where I wouldn't take the things I'm saying for myself. A lot of times they're just things that I've thought, or things that I do, or things that I'm going through or have gone through that, like, I'm like, okay, maybe someone else needs to hear this. I am someone who needs to hear it. Failure is your friend. Failure is my friend. And we just need to get better acquainted. That's all I got for y'all today. I hope you enjoyed this one. L perfection. L perfection. Perfection is like not a good person. Perfection is perfection don't got your best interests in hand, big dog. So like there's no point of striving for it. There's no point of listening to it. There's no point in giving it the time of day. Like perfection looks nice. Perfection's hot. Sure. Okay, cool. There's nothing there though. There's no substance. Perfection is not on your team. Perfection is not on your side. And failure is not even ugly for real. Failure is also hot, but they just have a bad reputation. You just got to get to know them and realize that failure actually wants the best for you. Failure is who you need to be in a relationship with. But what is your relationship with perfection and failure? Where do you think you would be if you and failure were closer friends? Where do you think the world would be if failure was a lot more integrated in our way of life? What is something that you plan on failing at? But yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. I do hope you stick around for more. If you feel so inclined, I do invite you to like and subscribe. But either way, I do hope that you stay, and I will catch you on the next one.